Hey everyone, Jess here with the JobStream AI family, and of course, I'm with Adonis McReynolds, my business partner and co founder. And today we have an exciting video as usual. This is actually about what not to do. So, we're going to talk about 5 things you should not do if you want to be getting your dream job. And I'm excited because they are interesting and fun things. So, let's start off. Adonis, start us off with the first thing that you should really not be doing if you want to get hired.
Yeah, pay attention here. This is very important information we're about to drop. Some of this you may already know from personal experience. Others might be really, this doesn't work anymore. But I want to preface, this video by saying it's not impossible to get a job in any of the 5 ways that we're going to list here. It's just not the best probability and likelihood, so we do not recommend it. These typically are time-consuming things that I'm going to list that people already kind of hate doing. So this is just further confirmation. You probably shouldn't be doing these things and should be turning to an easier option. So starting with number 1, the easy apply button on LinkedIn. I can't even begin to tell you just how many people I've spoken to, even just within the past month, that told me that they were easy applying like there was no tomorrow, right? And they've been doing this for months. These are people who are really good at what they do. These are not, people that are just like incompetent. These people have like long-standing resumes that have been, not necessarily tons of time gaps in between. Some of them are President's Club winners, operations professionals, people who are just really good at what they do. And Easy Apply has not worked for them. Rather, what it has done is it has filled a number of different databases all around the world with their information, and really there's no way of knowing what actually is happening behind the scenes. Some people question whether or not the resumes are actually even being read. Some of them are questioning whether or not these jobs are even real jobs. Many of them are not, by the way, and many of them actually will receive some type of response, but usually from AI. And the AI will reject them, saying, hey, we did not find you a good fit for this position. Most of this has a lot to do with something you're pretty familiar with at this point, the ATS rejection, where the AI basically determines based off of keywords that you're not necessarily a good fit. Most of this information, though, is not being handled by human beings. It's being handled, well, it is being handled by human beings indirectly, but they're not taking the time to look at your resume, get to know you. This is all just very impersonal, and it's just not working for people. So that's number 1. Number 2, manual applications, less than 50 to 100 a week. So manual applications, if you're able to do 1,000 a week, kudos to you, man. Like, or lady, or whoever you are, right? Like, you're an animal. You're just straight up producing applications like no tomorrow. But you're probably not doing that. Most people aren't doing that. It's extremely tedious. No one likes doing it anyway. And if you are doing it, we would just encourage you, like, try to think of a more creative and better solution. We have automation today. That is really kind of what's taken place and presides as a better strategy over manual. So if you're trying to apply to a ton of different jobs, trying to get your resume out to as many people as you can, we don't advise the manual application route. We advise automation, and some of the automation technologies we recommend include SalesLoft. You could use HubSpot. You can use, Pipedrive, Apollo. There's a number of different ones, right? But do your research on what automations you want to use, which channels you want to use them on, email or LinkedIn, for different job opportunities, and ditch the manual application process pretty much ASAP. Now, the next topic, or the next way of not getting a job, is the digital street begging, right? Now, digital street begging is kind of looks like this. I need a job. My name is Adonis. Please hire me, right? And then some type of story about, like, I'm not doing very well. I'm about to get evicted from my apartment. Something's going on in my life that, may or may not be out of my control, right? But the problem is that you're telling this to somebody who is looking for somebody either who is going to be a perfect fit for a role that they're currently hiring for, and that's the criteria by which they're making those decisions. So if somebody's coming to them and saying, hey, you should just throw your criteria of what you're looking for out the window and hire me because I'm in a desperate situation, that's called street begging. Digital street begging. Obviously, you're not on the streets making these proposals, but you're on LinkedIn in somebody's inbox or on email trying to desperately reach out to people this way. Our recommendation is always come with a value-based proposition. Never come to somebody out of desperation, just begging them for work because you're unemployed, right? Like, you got to give them a reason to feel like they should give you an opportunity and give you a chance. Do you have more to say on that, Jess? I'm sure you do.
Oh yeah, no, so I agree with that. I mean, you just have to understand like the frame of mind. Of course, everyone will feel bad for you. Of course, it's awful. Like we're not judging you for being in that situation, but it doesn't position you as someone who's responsible, as someone who has like foresight, as someone who's good at planning. And like once again, it's not to victim blame or anything, but it is that's just how people are gonna take it. So it's gonna be a lot harder to get hired if you're begging and saying like, "Oh, I'm about to get evicted," this that, because it's really tough. The market is tough, but like we really don't anyone should never really be in that position. Like we need to always be saving for a rainy day. We need to always have backup plans. As soon as you get laid off, you need to be like super proactive, not like say, "Oh, I'm going to take a month off," unless you actually have enough money like stacked to do that. These are the problems. It ends up positioning you as someone who's not responsible, even if it was out of your control. And it's a lot harder to get hired if that's the image that you're projecting. So even if that's the case, when you make your post, make sure that the post isn't like, "Oh my gosh, everything's wrong and I have no control," and because that's just going to frame you in a really bad light. So you want to make sure that you're always leading with value, always talking about how you can help solve the problem that the company is having. So just be careful of what you're posting, the words that you're using. There's nothing wrong with posting, but yeah, we don't want to be begging. So that's for sure. And just a comment on the easy apply thing. My philosophy in life is that nothing is easy if it's free. And if it's easy, it's expensive. So if you want to do like easy apply, it's not going to work very well because it's too easy. So like you're just clicking one button, one button, one button, and employers will see that. Like I actually got hired for a job once because the person said that I was the only one on Indeed to actually fill out the full questionnaire that they asked. And part of what they asked was to leave like a voice message, like answering a few questions about myself. So I did it. And they said like I got the job because I was the only person out of 100 applications who actually did that part. So when you're just taking the easy route out and just doing easy apply and not actually doing like anything else, it just shows the employer that you don't really care, that you're not going to go above and beyond. So that's the thing. And then yeah, those are my comments for now. Let's keep going on the last few points.
Yeah, no, great insights as it pertains to what's easy, right? What comes easy usually doesn't result in the greatest outcome, right? So very, very well said. All right, so number 4 is not applying at all and waiting for the world to come find you. Well, we all know what's wrong with this, right? It's very egotistical for one. For two, it's really just choosing to not address the issue, which is, like the issue is you're unemployed. And if you want to be employed, maybe the mindset behind this is I don't feel like I should have to ask somebody like for a job, or I shouldn't have to go and search for one because I'm so great. Um, maybe it's true that you are great at what you do, but so are a lot of other people. And in today's day and age, companies have their pick of the litter as it pertains to talent. So get out there. Don't presume upon your own success and what you've got going on, that people should just be calling you and like you shouldn't even have to apply. That's crazy. I haven't come across too many people that do this. And I hope that I don't come across too many people that are doing this, because I think it's just a silly decision. Thoughts on that, Jess?
Yeah, absolutely. Unless you're someone that like is super rich and you actually don't have to work, and then you're just chilling and someone offers you a job because you said something
Exactly.
cool or interesting or whatever, like sure, okay, you're like, "Oh, I'm not doing it for the money, I'm doing it for the love of whatever." Great. But if you actually are like 99% of the world and you need to pay your bills and you want to like have employment, then that's a ridiculous thing to do. You have to put yourself out there in some type of way. Like at least tell people like, "Hey, I'm open. Hey, if you have a friend, oh, can I call this person? Can you put me in touch with this person?" Something like that. Sure, fine. I wouldn't say that's the only thing you should do unless you really have all the time in the world, but definitely you need to put in effort. And once again, if you're the type of person that doesn't want to put in any effort, it's going to come across. Like employers aren't going to be like, "Oh, I can't wait to hire the person that doesn't want to put any effort into their own lives," because they're obviously not going to want to put effort into this job. So we don't want that.
Yeah. Your approach to getting a job is going to often reflect how you work within the company. So that's something to keep in mind. Every approach that you take, employers are going to look at that and go, so is this how this person would handle my business? Is this how this person would come and work for me? Right? Is everything supposed to be easy for them? That's why they found me on Easy Apply. Or is everything supposed to be just begging? Like, are they going to beg our clients to like do this, do that because they need food or whatever? Like, you can see how, you can take those approaches that a person would use pre-hire and kind of apply them to a post-hire situation and be like, yeah, I don't think I would want someone who represents my company that way, right? So the way one does anything is how they do everything. That's a common phrase out there. Now, the last thing that I don't think anyone should do as it pertains to finding a new full-time opportunity is calling direct hire recruiting agencies. I do believe in temporary staffing solutions for people that just need to get on their feet for a temporary full-time role. That's actually something I throw out there as a pretty common solution for people who just need quick money, is the temping agency. But when it comes to direct hire and trying to find a full-time job, most direct hire agencies have roles that they're trying to fill right now, and they're not really concerning themselves with your individual job search. It's just the fact of the matter, right? They're getting paid by a company in most cases to find a specific type of person, and like 99% of the time, that person is going to be somebody that the recruiting agency has actually done their homework and reached out to that person, right? If you're reaching out to them, 99% of the time, it's not going to end up in a full-time role, at least not in a direct hire capacity. Temp, probably. That's a good move. If you want to get a temporary role just to kind of, stay afloat, that's great. Temp agencies are there for that. But in terms of full-time, direct hire, the chances are just a little bit lower on that end that you're going to actually get something from a direct hire agency. Thoughts on that, Jess?
Yeah, definitely. Before our video, we were talking, and you brought up a super good point that the recruiters are not being paid by you. They're being paid by the company, so they don't have as much interest in you. So if you're just like, oh, I'm gonna reach out on LinkedIn and be like, hey, I'm looking for a job. Do you have anything? Like, it's not like a horrible approach. It's better than doing nothing. But understand that these people, their interest in is where the money. It's how humans are. We all care about the money. Everyone wants a job for the money. Of course, they want to be fulfilled and have purpose and make changes in life, but like 90% of it is the money. So understand that when you're reaching out to direct recruiters, they're not being paid by you, so they don't really care as much. Whereas, if you reach out to someone like us, you're paying us, so our full interest is in helping you. And that's the point of why we do things the way we do them, is because we do want to help people genuinely as much as possible. But obviously we live in the world. Obviously we have bills. So we get paid by you, and then we only care about you. Whereas a direct recruiter is paid by the company. So they only care about the company. And they also have thousands and thousands of people in their databases. So you're going to get lost in the shuffle. Like, sometimes they might genuinely care about you, but they have 1,000 messages and they just forgot to answer you, and now it's buried. So good luck, So that's one of the issues with that.
Yeah, indeed. So all of these 5 points, or these five methodologies that people are using to find jobs, again, we're not saying that someone can't do these things and have some success. Certainly there are people who are still landing jobs with Easy Apply on LinkedIn. I don't really think I've seen anyone land a job through digital street begging, I have to say. Manual applications, less than 50 to 100. If you're really lucky, you could get hired that way, and you could get very lucky with direct hire recruiting agencies. Just keep in mind, none of these approaches are the ideal anymore. They are existing ways, but they are not the ideal way of finding an opportunity. They're not highly successful ways anymore. So rather than going through one of these five approaches, watch the other videos on our channel. We break down exactly how JobStream AI can help you. We're going to be putting out a video very shortly, today actually, of 7 things you should be doing, right, in your job search. Regardless of whether you decide to work with us or not, certainly we do these things and execute a lot of these practices, but ultimately you want to be doing something that works. So stay tuned, check out the rest of our channel. We'll see you on the other side.